Hi folks, I'm Russ Amber, and I've been coaching boxing since 1979. During that time, I've worked thousands of rounds in both the amateur and professional ranks. Over the years, I've had the privilege of seeing some of the greatest fighters of the modern era at both the professional and the Olympic levels. I've had one world champion and 4 Olympians, not to mention various medals at major international events, including the World Championships. Since 1988, I've worked as an analyst for the CBC on all their boxing coverage, and since 1996, I've also worked on TSN, the sports network, as their exclusive boxing analyst. Since June of 2000, I've been president of Quebec Boxing and have been a board of directors member of the Canadian Amateur Boxing Association. One of my most recognizable fighters that you might know is Otis Grant. Otis won the WBO middleweight title in 1997 and in November 1998 fought the great Roy Jones. Although we didn't win the fight, seeing the quality and supreme talent of someone like Jones really gave me an increased appreciation of the fantastic talent that he is. Today we're going to take a look at basic counter-punching routines. The most effective punches you see land in a fight are the result of counter-punches, the instantaneous reaction to a punch followed by a combination of your own. All the greats from Sugar Ray Robinson to the fantastic Roy Jones are an excellent example of counter-punching at its finest. Folks, today what I'd like to take a look at is counter-punching. And counter-punching is probably an art which has to be worked and reworked time and time again in order that you can create the muscle memory necessary for you to react instantaneously to punches that your opponent throws at you. Obviously, when you learn, it's more of a thinking process and you think about it before doing it. As you get into a higher level, that gets a little harder to do. You don't have the time to think, and it almost has to be instantaneous reaction. And that can only come from repeated training and getting the punches out the way you want them to and developing the muscle memory needed to do so. So I guess we'll stick with the basics on this, and I'd like to ask David to come in and join us. And Dave is 14 years old and 119 pounds, and he's ranked number 2 in the nation. And we just want to stay with something quite basic here with you. The first thing we'll take a look at is the jab. Obviously, we'll start with that. That's the first punch that you would learn in the gym. So you got your stance. Again, if you've seen the other tapes, and if you haven't, I urge you to take a look at them. But I'm really strong on the stance and the base that you have as a fighter. That's the most important thing, because in order to do any kind of punching or counter punching, you need to have a good base. So with that in mind, remembering that a base is your most important thing, let's start with the most basic things first and start at the beginning. The first punch you probably would have learned is the jab. So we're going to start with the jab. We know how to throw it at this point. Now what we want to do is learn about how to counter against it. So David, I'll ask you to take your position, please. Now again, remembering that we have the stance, and if you don't mind, I'd like to just show you again to reiterate how important this is. Now, the proper stance, the way I like it, is where the fighter's head, his foot is ahead of his head, the body is angled perfectly here. From the heel all the way up, makes a nice line forward, leaning forward into the punch, and the front foot offers the support necessary. This is very important. For any of the punches that you will throw, that's going to be vital for them to be effective. Those physics of your technique and your stance must be there in order for it to be effective. So, with David in good position here, the first thing we're going to look at is the jab of what David will do to counter punch the jab. Now, the first thing we have to decide is he going to block it or is he going to slip it? Those are the 2 options he has. We'll do the block first. If I throw a jab at Dave, he's probably going to block it with the right hand. The counter punch on this will be bang, a quick left jab right back. Do it again, and it's got to be instantaneous, bing, bing, and he'll do it right there. That is a counter punch, a basic, quick counter punch routine for the right jab, for the left jab. Now, with that, with good speed, he'll be able to execute a 1-2 off of that. So he'll wait for the opponent to throw the jab, I'll throw it, bing, bing, and the 1-2 will come back out. Again, and it's almost an instant reaction. Notice how he's catching the punch and he's letting his hand go almost instantaneously as I step in with my jab. That's what I mean. That's why I'm trying to stress how important it is to be instantaneous on the reaction. So we'll look at it again. We're in a position. Dave's waiting. Bing, boom. Now with that, if you've got good speed, add a third one to it so he can counter punch with the 1-2-3. This is where you'll get a guy who's only throwing 1 shot at a time. He's trying to load up with you. Now you nail him with 3 shots. So you're boxing, everything's looking good. You throw, boom, 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 and the left hook comes around. Again, bing, bing, boom. As soon as the guy throws the shot, you're instantaneously on him. We've heard the adage, make him miss, make him pay. Well, that's an exact example of that. The other one you could do is off of the slip. Off of the slip, basically one of the most important things you want to remember when slipping a shot is you always want to try to go to the outside of the punch. In this case, being the left jab, David's going to want to slip to the outside. Why to the outside? Because at this point, he's probably at his safest target. He's pretty much protecting himself safely against the right hand because the opponent's own left hand is in the way, and he's got a nice angle here to come right over the top with the right hand. This is not as instantaneous as the blocks. This has a little bit more of two steps involved, the slip and then the punch, where you want to try to blend the two together, meaning that you want to slip and come over. So you're basically following the opponent's hand back. So it's the slip and back right around. Again, bang. Now, I'm also a proponent of trying to finish with the left hand. So in this case, we want to try to come boom, bang, left hook and come around. Slip, bang, left hook and come around. Slip, bang, left hook and come around. Another one you could do with the slip is just to do a little bit of an off step on the guy. The guy's boxing with him. You just want to slip, bang, and come back over the top. Just a little slip to the outside. Boom, right there and over the top. Again, this will again take away any danger of getting hit with the right hand because what you've done is you've angled yourself away from the opponent and put yourself at a distance further from his right hand. So let's look at it again. Step away from me, David. Just go that way. Boom, right there, and then the right hand comes over. So that's probably the best way at looking at getting rid of throwing good combination counter punches against the left jab. So to summarize, you either want to do the blocks, bang, and you want to fire off right away. Instantaneously, you block, boom, and you put 3 punches on that, boom, boom, boom. You can do that. Or you can do the slip, hoop, boom, and then you can throw it in a combination, hoop, boom, boom. Or you can do it on a step over, hoop, boom, and then you can finish that off with the left hook as well. So we'll come back, hoop, bang, bang. And that's how you counterpunch the left jab. Okay, now that we've seen how to counterpunch the jab, we want to move on to the next punch, which again, we're staying very basic here, and that's the right hand. Again, very simple, and like I reiterate all the time, stance is very important, so make sure the execution is good. If you can throw a right hand properly, you'll be able to counterpunch using your right hand as well. David, take your position, please. Now, the right hand, again, we're going to look at 2 things, again, is the block and the slip. And in some cases, with the right hand, although depends what kind of guy you're fighting, if he's throwing it correctly, you're only going to be worrying basically about the block and the slip. But every now and then you get in with a guy who throws a big haymaker, and you can probably get under that. You can roll under that shot. But we'll take a look basically at the 2, which is the blocking and the slipping of the right hand. So if I'm working with David, the 2 ways he's going to do, we'll do the blocking first. If I'm throwing the right hand at David, what he's going to want to do is from his boxing position, good stance, he's going to just want to catch that shot right on his left glove as I throw it, boom, and he'll catch it right there. So we know that that's how he'll catch the shot. Now, from there, what he has done is he has torqued his body. Now, by torquing his body, he's already twisted everything up and lined himself up to already throw the right hand. Hold on. Now, the guy throwing the shot, when he's in this position, is now very susceptible to his own right hand, much like he would be if he would be a southpaw. He'd be open to right hands. By throwing it here, he is basically, in essence, taking on almost a southpaw stance. So from there, with David's body already torqued, he wants to follow me back with his own right hand as I throw that and come straight down the middle. If I'm thinking about throwing that left hook right off it, and Dave is quicker by making the instantaneous reaction of throwing that right hand, he'll beat me to the punch. His straight right hand will beat my left hook because the shortest distance between 2 points is a straight line. And right there, if David's blocking it, boom, he's going to beat me with my left hook because he's going to throw it right away. A classic example of that, and if you get a chance to watch this, the Evander Holyfield-Mike Tyson fight was an exact perfect example of this, where Holyfield basically waited and waited and waited and didn't throw anything until Tyson unloaded the right hand. And every time Tyson unloaded the right hand, that's when Holyfield jumped on him. So that's a perfect example of watching something and putting it into action the way Holyfield did against Tyson. So we'll look at this again. I throw the right hand at David. He comes right back with the right hand. Throw it. He comes right back with the right hand. From there, he can come back with the uppercut as well. A little simple formula that you might want to use is often you usually end up countering with the same hand that's coming at you. So right hand for right hand. Bing, bang. The right hand comes back. If I'm a short, stocky guy and I come at Dave and I throw the right hand, he can hit me with the uppercut now. Boom. And he'll do it again. bing, bang. He'll throw it again. Again, a very effective punch because the guy throwing and loading up on the right hand is leaving himself open for a right hand counter. This is not something that the guy's just going to stick around and get hit with. The instantaneous reaction must be there, and you as the fighter must be able to time it properly and get the guy in the right range where you want him to be so you can land that right hand. Again, we'll do it again. We'll put it into a little motion now. If I'm moving with David here a little bit and I throw this, bang, bang, he throws it right back. Oh, bang, or underneath. Boom, and he brings it up underneath. If we do it on a slip, then on the slip we get into the left hook. That's what's pretty about this shot. If I get David to slip again, how we say we always want to go to the outside. Boom. Now, from right there, here comes the left hook, comes around, bang, the right hand could follow it up. Boom. We'll do it again. He slips to the outside, bang, bang. Now, the danger here is you got to be careful the guy's not setting you up for his own left hook, because then you're trading left hooks, and that could be dangerous. So you as the fighter, you want to make sure you duck properly. You want to slip the shot properly, and don't lift your chin back up in the air once you throw the left hook, once you want to come around with that left hook. So right there, the left hook comes around, and that's pretty safe when you stay that way. So to summarize again, you can either block it, boom, come back with your own right hand, you can come back with the uppercut, you can finish both of them with the left hook, bing, bang, bang, you can do it again, bang, bang, or the right hand left hook, whoop, no, the right hand left hook, straight right hand left hook, bang, bang, or the slip. You slip to the outside, and here, boom, left hook. Here, left hook. Now the right hand after that, bing, bing, bing. That's how you counterpunch the right hand. Okay, folks, well, we've looked at the first two basic punches, the jab and the right hand and the counter punches that go with it. Remember, it's very easy to say, you got to do this, slip the right hand, throw your left hook, or slip the right hand, come back, block the right hand, come back with your own right hand. All this needs practice, and it needs practice so that it's instantaneously comes out when it happens in a fight. That's probably the most important thing I can tell you about counterpunching, is the ability to keep working it and working it and working it so that your body gets used to making the moves. When you pick off a certain shot, you're able to come back. So now we're going to take a look at moving on to the left hook. The left hook is a powerful punch. It's never usually a soft punch, and it's not usually a setup punch. It's usually a finishing off punch. So it's something that's very dangerous for you to be susceptible to, and something you want to block and be able to come back with, because when your guy throws his good best shot left hook at you, that's a good time to counterpunch because he's let his best shot go at this point. My two favorite shots to counterpunch off of are the right hand and the left hook. So let's take a look at the left hook here. Again, there are three ways you can do this. The two ways you can do this. You can block it or you can slip it. Now, obviously the block is a pretty simple thing where you're just going to catch it with a high right hand and roll with the shot a little bit, because that's what you want to do to absorb the shot. Now, from the roll here, you want to be able to come back with your own left hook, right hand, left hook. That's a good combination to come off of the left hook, because usually the opponent will probably throw, say, a 1-2-3 or a jab hook. Let's say he does throw a 1-2-3 and he goes 1, 2, 3. Now you catch that, and then you come right around with your own quick one, bam, bam, 3 punches right back, because the first 2 shots that he threw are usually to set up his power shot. So you just kind of keep your hands tucked up, bing, bing, you catch him. Now this one comes around, now you come back, 3, and that's a good shot. If he does throw the 1-2 first, then sometimes you have the opportunity, especially if you see it coming, where you can weave under that shot. If you do weave under that shot, that's where you can now use the other hand for counterpunching, meaning you can now hit him with the right hand. So if I threw the 1-2 quickly at Dave and then came across with this one, Dave goes right under it and comes over with a left hook. Now that was perfect because he just picked it off, saw it coming, bang. And that's a good thing, because if a guy is really loading up with his left hook, you might have the opportunity of catching him off balance. And if you do, he'll walk right into that right hand, because if I throw it like this, now he's trying to come back, your right hand will definitely beat his right hand. That's a good shot to throw and a good way to keep him off balance. You can also do that by stepping off to the side if you want to, like that, and coming right back over again. We can do that again here, boom, bang, and that can come right over. So if we did it quickly and I had David block the first 2, he just has to block it and then turn over, boom, and then that one can come back, and he can finish with the left hook, because that's a good time for him to do that. I like finishing with the left hand. So 1, 2, go under, bing, bing. And he can even keep going that way, and he can kind of spin me off if he wants to after, and he can end up on the side of me, which gives him an angle where he's not in much of a danger, And that's what you want to be. You want to be able to counterpunch and not be in return fire from your opponent. So again, we'll throw 1, 2, boom, bam, bam, and then he can just go off that way and move. And he's pretty safe at that point, and then I got to turn back and look for him again. So if we're boxing, we're moving along here, sometimes the fighter will throw the jab hook. So at this point, David will block both shots. So he'll block this, block that, come back with his own left hook. So block, bang, bam, bam, and then the right hand after. So block, block. He'll block this one, bam, 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 and he'll throw there. You don't have to hit so hard. Ha, bam, bam, bam. That's right. The thing is, the instantaneous reaction to the punch is the key. And the thing that it does to a fighter, especially a fighter who is offensively minded, is that you keep offsetting him each time. You keep disturbing him. Every time he tries to do something, you're hitting him. You're bothering him with something. He throws the left hook, bang, you're hitting him back. You throw the boom, you're throwing something back at him. You go under it, you throw something at him. Boom, you go under, you throw something at him. He tries to do the left hook here, boom, you catch him with that one coming in. That's a key, is that every time he tries to explode on you, every time he tries to put some pressure on you, tries to land the hard shots, you have to keep offsetting him. And the way to offset him is with combination punching and counter punching. So we'll look at it again. If we summarize on this, there's the block. Very important here, again, the turning of the body, he's tucking into the shot, he's absorbing the blow. From there, he'll come around with the left hook. Perfect shot right there with the left hook. Come back with the right hand, and then finish off with the left hook. That's what he'll do on the block. If we do it on the slip, he'll go under. Boom, straight over with the right hand, and then the left hook follows. Here, boom, left hook follows. And we'll do it again. Under, roll under, boom, and left hook follows. Again, very good. And the final key to that is to offset so that you're not there for any kind of danger. Dave just slips around under, boom, boom, and turns. Again, slips, under, and turns. Let's do it one more time. Under, bam, bam. Do it again, make the slip with the step. Here we go, boom, bam, bam, turn it. No, make the slip with the step. Bang, bang. That's what you'll want to do when you get under the left hook. Create an angle for your opponent so that he can't hit you back. And that's how you counter the left hook. Folks, we've looked at the 3 basic punches, the jab, the right hand, and the left hook. Now as we get a little bit more advanced, this might be looking ahead, but it's probably something that's very important, and that's counterpunching primarily on the inside and body shots. The primary weapon you'll come up against is a left hook to the body, and that'll usually be thrown on the inside, or a guy will set you up from the outside and then get inside and throw it, and that's very important. When you meet a guy who's got a good left hook to the body, you need to protect against that. Perfect example of that is Arturo Gatti against Mickey Ward, and you've all seen that one, and you know how important it was for Arturo Gatti to stay away from Mickey Ward's devastating left hook to the body. So if we take a look at the left hook to the body, one of the ways, I think defending against it is probably just as important as counterpunching against it. One of the things that I like to see a guy do when we're facing a fighter who's got a really good left hook to the body, before I worry about the counterpunching I'm going to throw, is how to defend against it. Obviously, the first thing you want to do is you want to keep that elbow in. Now, usually you'll get some guys who are able to stay right there and catch that shot and be comfortable doing that. However, every now and then, one is going to get through at some point. Again, I'll resort back to the Arturo Gatti-Mickey Ward fight. Late in the fight, Mickey Ward in that first fight finally found that left hook to the body, and he hurt Arturo with it and dropped him with it because Arturo was content just to do the blocking. What I like to do at this point is I like my guys to just pivot off a little bit to the left when they do make the block. So they'll catch the shot and roll with it, which actually takes the impact off of the punch. So if I'm going to throw this, boom, you just keep turning there. The guy ends up reaching across to try to land it. It's a very little subtle move, and if you start watching fights and you start paying attention to things like that, you'll see how just a little subtle move like that, just by shifting a little bit, takes the point of impact away from the opponent. So that's something that I like to see my guys do, is just boom, turn away. See, I wanted to hit him there, but he rolled with the shot, which made me end up, instead of landing the shot here, which is where I wanted to land it in full impact, he ends up moving away, and now I'm coming across my body, and I've taken away the impact off the punch. So that's a very good thing. Now that you've decided on whether you want to just roll with a little bit or block, either way, that's the same thing. Let's stay right there. Either way, you're making the block. Whether you're making it further away or there, you're making the block. Now, at this point, you want to be able to counter punch off that shot. One of the best punches to throw off the left hook to the body is a left hook to the head. The reason being is the fighter is somewhat exposed, especially if you make him reach for you, because he has to lean down to throw that shot. So from there, even if his hand is high, that left hook back to the head is a really good shot for you to nail the guy with. So if you block this, bang, and come back with your own, bam, and you come back with your own, bam, come back with your own, that's a really effective shot. From then, you can also spin your guy off as well, and you can just keep going with the pivot, bang, no, land the shot first, bang, bang, and then you're gone again. You can just pivot away from the guy. It's an effective shot. It can also be very effective if you throw it, even when you think he's reaching for that left hook to the body, which means it's a counter punch, but he really hasn't thrown the punch because you're seeing it coming first. So if the guy kind of drops his shoulder ready to throw that, let that left hook to the head go. And 9 times out of 10, it's going to land and it's going to find the mark. You also have to know that a fighter will often do things, someone who has a good left hook to the body will often do things to set you up so he can land that shot. So you've got to pay attention to what he's doing. Sometimes a guy with a good left hook to the body will throw, say, a 1, 2, 3 to the head just because he wants you to think you're going to the head, and then he drops down that shot to the body. Be aware of that. Make the little pivot, because you can do the little pivot off of the left hook to the head as well. So you could block, 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 boom. Now the left hook to the body is not there any longer, and David can come back with his own left hook to me. If you are on the inside, boom, left hook to the head right after that, bang, boom, bang, right there, boom, bang, right there. Now, the other one is the right uppercut on the inside. We're talking about inside body punches. The right uppercut is one that you're going to work on as well. So, boom, you're going to catch it with that shot right there. There it is, and Dave comes right back up perfectly, exactly what he's doing. The key here is you want to stay closed up. You want to get that shot right in on the elbow, boom, and fire it right away. Catch it here, fire it right away. So those are the keys to blocking and counter-punching the body shots, the left hook and the right hand to the body. The left hook is a dangerous punch, folks. It's a great, great offensive punch, but it's also a punch that can be nullified if you just do a little pivot right off to the side when the guy's about to throw it, and that'll offset your opponent. So to summarize, make sure you keep that elbow in, roll with the shot for sure. You want to absorb as much of it as you can, and if you can, just turn away from it a little bit. Just pivot off a little bit with it, take the impact off of the punch, and then come back with your own left hook to the head, and that's the way you counter punch a left hook to the body. All right, now we're moving on to the next step, and that's the right hand to the body, and that's from long range. Pretty easy punch to block. Where it becomes dangerous is when the right hand to the body is in itself used as a counter punch, and that could be on the jab as well. I'll give you an example of that. The right hand to the body is a really good punch. If I throw the jab at Dave, Dave's going to just probably sit down, throw a straight right hand right to my body, boom, right there. That's a good shot, good counter punch against the jab. But now, what do you do when the opponent tries the right hand to the body against you and you want to counter punch that? Well, there's 2 ways you can do it. One of them is to block and the other one is to parry. Generally, if you skip away from a long right hand, it's good, it's effective, you keep him away, but it's probably not in a great position to counter punch back because he's throwing it from long range and you've skipped away from it to begin with, so basically the opponent is probably no longer there where you can counter punch him. However, he does come at you and you do use a block. It's a pretty basic, simple block using just your elbow from a boxing position. If I'm boxing with Dave here and I want to set him up and I'm using the jab to set him up and then I drop with a right hand to the body, all he's got to do is just pick it off with that elbow. He sees it coming from that range. You should have no problem seeing that your opponent is throwing the right hand to the body. What you want to be careful about, I hope I didn't hurt you, Dave. What you want to be careful about is that he's not setting you up to land another shot, which could be the left hook to the head, which is why you don't, by using the elbow block, you don't compromise yourself because you've stayed in a pretty good position to begin with. You've stayed in your boxing base. You can see everything that's happening, and all you've done is picked off the shot. And if he does try to come back with anything else, you can always block it, whether it's the left hook or if he tries to double it up and come back over the top with the right hand. You haven't compromised yourself by taking yourself out of position where you could be opening yourself up for something else because you've pretty much stayed basic just by blocking it, bang, right there, right there. Now, if David wanted to, or at this point, like we said earlier, you try to counterpunch, same hand with same hand. So if I hit him with the right hand there, that's the right hand he wants to come back with again. I catch it there, boom, that's what he wants to come back with again. Normally, you won't often find a guy standing there too long to get hit with that shot, so it's a little bit more difficult, but every now and then you'll come across a fighter who let it hang out there thinking he can nail you, and you catch him right away. Again, the key to this is the instantaneous reaction. The other way to do it is on the parry. And the reason you can use a parry at this point, you can use it for a few punches, especially the straight punches, is because it is a long-range punch. If we can just recap a little bit, when using the jab, we talked about blocking the jab. You can also parry the jab, and we can do that. You can block the right hand, and you can also parry the right hand. Same thing with the body shot. Parries are good. It's an advanced technique, but it's good. It's a good technique. And from the outside, if a guy threw the right hand to the body, you can parry that easily, and in a natural flow, you can just turn around and just crack him with a little short, quick left hook. So we can do that again, turn him, bang, and you just crack him over. This knocks him a little bit off balance, so he's not really in a good position to come back with his own left hook, and you can just tap him over with the right hand. That's something that's a little bit more advanced and a little bit sneaky, but it's something you can see, so it's in a good range, because if you have a good vision and the guy's throwing it from the outside and he commits to it, it's easy punch to get away with. So let's take a look at that again. If David does want to throw it to me from long range and I see it coming, I'm just going to catch it and pop him, throw him off balance, I'm going to catch him and pop him. Or the other way is with the block with the elbow. Boom, if Dave blocks with the elbow right there, he blocks, he catches it there, and what does he come back with? Bang, bang, his own right hand. He can follow that up with the left hook. Bing, bang, bang, left hook comes again. Hit, bing, bing, comes back again. Again, the instantaneous reaction to the punch is probably very, very important at this point in all times when you're using counter-punching moves. You've got to be able to react quickly. We'll take a look at that one more time. Bang, bang, the right hand, left hook comes around. Bang, right hand, left hook comes around. If he throws the right hand at me and I want to parry it, boom, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to turn him around. Turn it outside on him. Do it again, and I'm going to turn it away on him. Turn, boom, and I'm going to counter-punch right away. Throw it again, boom, and turn around and throw it right away. So to summarize, you can block, you can parry, but either way, the right hand to the body is a punch that you can see from the outside, and you shouldn't really have much difficulty in blocking or counter-punching that shot. It's a pretty basic shot that you should have full view of. Remember, don't commit, don't compromise yourself and do something that'll take you out of position, because sometimes fighters will use the right hand to the body in order to set up another shot. Don't get lured into that fish plate where they can reel you on in. Just make sure you catch that nice and solid without compromising your position and come back with your own good solid counter punches against the right hand to the body. All right, well, we're still staying with counter punches, and now we're going to take a look at the right uppercut. The right uppercut counter punch is a shot used on the inside, because it's pretty rare you're going to see a guy throwing a right uppercut from the outside, and if you do, well, he's got a lot of problems to be worried about. It's a shot you're going to see on the inside, the right uppercut, and that'll happen a lot in the infighting. Again, we're getting into a little bit more advanced stages here, but the principles remain the same, and that's not to compromise yourself and make sure that your reaction is instantaneous. So if we're on the inside with David here and we're boxing and we're doing a lot of infighting and throwing the shots that we want to throw on the inside, I'm going to throw that right uppercut right up underneath. Now, Dave can either do one of two things. He can either block it with this shot, which is a pretty safe move. Makes counter-punching a little bit more difficult, but it's generally safe because now he's using the opposite hand to block my punch. But he's protecting that whole side of the body, because the side that he could get hit with is now taken away by him blocking it with this hand. So we'll do it again right on the inside. Boom, he just blocks it on the inside, catches it before I get there. Don't reach down for it now. You don't want to do that. You just want to make sure you catch it right nice and close. Boom, right on the inside, and turn it like that. The other way you could do it is to block it with the right hand. Now, blocking it with the right hand is a little bit more dangerous. The reason being, because if the opponent is in there doing the work that he should be doing, he's going to be throwing uppercuts and left hooks. So the opponent, being myself in this case, would be wanting to go bang, bang. That's what I'm going to be doing, is throwing the uppercut underneath and bringing the left hook across. So David has to be very careful when he uses this hand now to block the right uppercut, because he's going to be exposing himself to the left hook. His reaction has to be instantaneous. He has to make a block and bend almost instantaneously, because the left hook is following that right uppercut. And that's where anticipation comes into play, where you kind of learn to develop these things over the years of practicing them, that you know what punches are coming and your body basically just bends into it. So if Dave's going to do that, if he's going to block this shot if he's going to block my right uppercut with his right hand, he instantaneously goes back into the defensive mode of catching the left hook that will follow. So if we're on the inside and I go bang, bang, he just wants to roll with that second shot and catch it. He wants to catch and roll. Just tuck into it, boom, and tuck into it. Bam, bam, and stay tucked into it. By nullifying that, by staying tucked in, my left hook will go around him, or it'll block him, or he'll smother the shot. He doesn't want to do it by pulling away. You want to stay in close when you're on the inside. Bang, bang, and roll. Bam, bang, and roll. Bang, bang, and roll. Okay, what do you do from the roll there? Now you've got to come back with your own shot. If you do that, the best shot, obviously, to come back with, and the one that's more natural, is any number of left hooks, be it kind of a half uppercut hook or a left hook fully straight around. In this case, if David does go and block this one, if he blocks with this one, and then comes back and tucks in on this one, now it's very natural. His body is already turned and twisted, ready to go. The left hook comes around naturally right there. He can do it again and come back with kind of an upper hook where he'll block and then bring it right up underneath. He'll turn, bang, right up underneath in between my gloves because I'm trying to protect against his left hook, but bang, he's going to just rip it up right underneath. Bang, and that'll come up underneath. If he does that, the natural transition from that punch underneath is the right one underneath. Boom, and then he brings it right back under. So those are really good, effective punches on the inside. Let's look at it again. We're on the inside. Remember, the first thing David's thinking about is blocking the right uppercut. So he's going to want to block it with this and then tuck in because he knows I'm coming around with that left hook right after it. It's very rare that the guy's just going to throw one shot. And if he does, he's still open to the left hook, so you can throw that anyways. But bear in mind that he's usually going to come back with the left hook off of his right uppercut. So boom, he's going to catch it there. He's going to tuck into there. Now he rips the shot up underneath. Bang! He rips that one, and then the right hand follows up underneath again. Boom! Right up underneath. Those are good quality punches thrown on the inside and coming up underneath the guard of the opponent who's trying to lay in on the inside with you. Let's take a look at that again. I hit David, I throw the uppercut on the inside. David blocks it. Now he protects against the left hook to the head. Now he comes back quickly, boom, and then rips the right uppercut underneath, and now he can come back with a left hook to the chin. So let's take a look at that. The final three punches will be where he blocks the shot underneath, he blocks the left hook, now he comes in three punches. 1, 2, 3. And those are three effective shots right underneath. Folks, let's take a look at that just one more time. David, let's get it on here. We're on the inside. We're both working in fighting. We're throwing shots. David's throwing back at me. We're catching the punches. Boom, boom. Now, I throw the right uppercut. Bam, bam. Oh, he catches it, right? Now he's got me where he wants me. Underneath, and around. Those are the punches you want to land on the inside. You land those with the precision of a Joe Louis, and you're walking to the neutral corner. Folks, that's our look at counterpunching, the basic punches in boxing. Again, I've got to reiterate to you how important it is to have a good stance, first of all. And if you have to, go to TitleBoxing.com, look at all the other boxing videos that are on there that'll give you an example of a good base. Because without a good base, all the things that we show you, whether it's in punching or counterpunching, are going to be ineffective if you're not able to deliver them off of a good base. So I'm a strong proponent of that, and I like to see it used as often as possible, and I like coaches out there to make sure you stress it to your fighters time and time again. Now that we looked at the counterpunching again, remember the most important things. It has to be instantaneous reaction. The only way you're going to be able to get that is through hours of practice in the gym, whether you're using it on the punch mitts or whether you're using your own imagination when you're hitting the heavy bag and imagine that that's your opponent and he's throwing the shot and he's throwing that jab and you're counterpunching right away. That's how you develop the muscle memory that your body needs in order to throw punches and throw the counter punches that you want thrown off the punches that your opponent is throwing at you. Now obviously you can't counterpunch every single punch the guy throws at you because that's not the way boxing is. But let's say you've gone into a fight and you're fighting a guy that you know has a really good right hand, and you and your coach decide, okay, we know this guy's going to set everything up with his right hand. You start practicing on working what you're going to do when he does throw that right hand. That's when counterpunching becomes really effective. The other time it becomes really effective is when you're facing a guy who's really aggressive and he's really good. And this is what he wants to do. He wants to impose himself on you. He's not waiting. He wants to come right at you. It's at that point that every time he makes a move, you throw leather right back at him, and that'll keep him off balance. He throws something, boom, you're always, something's coming back at him all the time, and that offsets guys a lot. So those are the things you want to stick with. But remember, train hard, make sure your punches are instantaneous. The reaction has to be quick, precise, and sharp. You can do that on the punch mitts, you can do it on the bag, you can do it on sparring, but focus on it and make the punches instantaneous, and that'll win you fights. I hope you've enjoyed this, folks. Nice to see you. We'll see you next time.
Title Boxing's got you covered with 16 action-packed videos to get you in the best condition of your life. Boxing and conditioning experts Danny Campbell, Michael Rutherford, Jeff Finnick, and Russ Anber put you through the paces to show you everything you need to know to improve your speed, strength, agility, and stamina. How to wrap hands, hitting the heavy bat, medicine ball, obtaining the edge of speed, interval training, punching at angles, advanced techniques, explosive speed and power, mastering the basics, punchnet secrets, getting bigger and stronger, dynamic speed and thrust, counter punching, working the corner, defensive skills and drills, body punching, and more. Get only the ones you want, or get maximum impact with the entire series. Get the secrets of over 80 years of combined boxing and physical training experience in one action-packed video series. Where do you get it? Exclusively at TitleBoxing.com. TitleBoxing.com. If we don't have it, you don't need it.